Okay, so we just had a technical difficulty and now we're back online. So let's look at some art exhibitions in Toronto this month. Art Gallery of Ontario. So I clicked open the link and was on now until June 7th, so only a few days left. Paul McCartney photographs 1963 to 1964, Eyes of the Storm. So let's look at Beatles first. So between December 1963 and February 1964, the Beatles were catapulted from British sensation to global superstars in stadium streets and on Ed Sullivan Show. Their arrival in North America marked a major cultural shift, greeted by screaming fans and press at every turn. Paul McCartney stood in the eyes of the storm, and his photographs offer a unique perspective on what it was like to be a Beatle at the start of Beatlemania. These intimate and historic photographs shown alongside the video clips and archival materials capture both the intensity of the Beatles' touring schedule and the energy of the era, as well more intimate views of his bandmates John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Beatles yet because I haven't listened to them long enough. I listen to classical rock, and their songs are constantly in the playlists of classical rock, but I'm not really diving into their songs yet. I believe that Paul McCartney is still active. He was in Vancouver for his solo concert a few years ago. Paul McCartney does not currently have any concert scheduled in Vancouver. He bypassed the city during his latest North American Got Back tours, with his last live performance in Vancouver taking place in July 2019. So, well, I never get a chance to see them live. Hope technology can revive the giants and bring them back on screen or 3D. Okay, let's see what else are on at AGO. David Blackwood, Myth and Legend, now until July 26, 2026. Learn more. A sweeping tribute to David Blackwood's extraordinary printmaking legacy, where eyes see and story capture Newfoundland and Atlantic Canada with quiet power and unforgettable beauty. One of Canada's best-known printmakers, David Blackwood, 1941 to 2022, put on paper an enduring vision of Newfoundland. Born and raised on Bonavista Bay, his haunting, beautiful images, suffused with struggle and myth, are drawn from childhood memories, dreams, superstitions, legends, and oral traditions. Tracing Blackwood's career from his first day as an art student at the Ontario College of Art to his final drawing, this expansive retrospective brings together more than 80 drawings and prints, alongside proofs, copper plates, and archival materials. Thanks to the generosity of the artist and his family, the AGO is home to Blackwood Archives. That's great. And the largest collection of his work in the world. Wonderful. So, major retrospective of this printmaker. About the artist, was born and raised in the community of Wesleyville on Bonavista Bay in Newfoundland. In 1959, Blackwood left Newfoundland to attend the Ontario College of Art, where he studied under John Alfson, Carl Schaeffer, William Roberts, Eric Feifeld, Rowley Murphy, and Jack MacDonald. Blackwood settled in Port Hope, Ontario, but continued to return to Newfoundland each summer. He died in 2022. Myth, legend. Oh, I see. He combines. Oh, I see. These are very dreamy, surrealist prints. I see. Wonderful. Let's see if there are more. You can buy more prints from their online shop, I believe. Oh, there they are. $25 for a print. 11 by 14 enclosed white border. Oh, I see. So it's just fine art print. I see. I think it's just wonderful. It's just pretty reasonable price to own a piece of the reproduction. Excuse me. Wedding on Deer Island print. Note card box. Note card box. Well, I wish these shows travel to Vancouver. That's my wish. Really hope these wonderful shows, these East Coast artists, this late East Coast artist would have his retrospective in Vancouver on the West Coast. There are just so many Canadian artists that we still don't know about yet. Thanks to these shows, you can take a peep into their works. Artworks. There's not many images. So that's him. Blackwood Studio. This composition imagines that Blackwood's printmaking studio might have a smelled like, with a focus on the material that were unique to his process of intaglio etching. Ingredients including smoky, tart-like ball ground, processed from pine resins, beeswax absolute, intaglio ink, which smells of the oily, fatty linseed oil binder, and a hint of capriva, a wood oil that recalls the scent of material. Yeah, so for the past 2 weeks, I've been live streaming during my lunch, checking out the printmaking sub on Reddit, and all the artists on under the sub are just being very technical, describing their techniques, their media. I believe that printmaking is just so much involves so much talent and patience and medium and labor, of course. Contemporary Artists Commission. Let's see if we can find more of this artist's works online. Blackwood. Oh, there's a video.
The work of David Blackwood has captivated collectors for decades. The artist's depictions of history and life in Newfoundland, actively pursued by bidders across Canada and beyond our borders. While Blackwood's market at auction has displayed strength and growth over the past decade, recent years have witnessed record prices for both his paintings and his prints, both of which Cowley Abbott has been privileged to feature since our earliest sales. This fall season, we are very excited to feature two masterworks by David Blackwood, a painting and a print. both included in our fall live auction on November the 27th. Ephraim Calloway was a neighbor to the Blackwood family in Wesleyville, Newfoundland during the 1950s. On the Calloway property was a shed with a wooden door that Ephraim would silver, and the element series of door paintings that were exhibited logs and posters. On both sides of the surface, a parent encircles their young to instill a sense of safety and security. This subtle mirroring is an interesting comment, not only on
intaglio etching,
relationships, but speaks to a larger theme of interconnectivity between humans and their environment and the fragility of one's very existence. Could be faced with the worst possible scenario, being forced to abandon ship
loss of the
and left
flora
to the cold
as
isolation of a
etching.
brutal environment. A celebration of this work in both painting and
Let's see if we can find more images. He has a website. Newfoundland. Oh, he has paintings as well. I see. Oh, so he did paintings. Oh. I see. So he for galleries to represent him. Private sales. David Blackwood. Okay, any other new shows in Toronto? Etna, Tacon, Verve, and Decorum. Painted Presence, Rembrandt and his peers. Yayoi Kusama, Infinity Mirror Room, Let's Survive Forever. Her show is still traveling. I remember the first time I entered one of his Infinity Rooms was at MoMA. In like 2003 maybe. And then later I entered her other Infinity Rooms in Seattle at the Art Museum of Seattle, and there was a long lineup, huge. She was just so popular, so phenomenal. Survivor, let's survive forever. Let's survive forever. Survive what forever? Let's see. For more than 70 years, Japanese artist Yayoi Kusama, born 1929, has invited people to participate in her groundbreaking visions of infinity over the past 3 decades. This prolific experimental artist has become an internationally acclaimed art world icon, with work presented across the globe. Infinity Mirror Room, Let's Survive Forever features mirrored spheres suspended from the ceiling and arranged on the floor. A mirrored column inside the room invites visitors to peer into a seemingly infinite field of silver orbs. So that's the pillar. Thanks to the generosity of over 4,700 Infinity AGO donors who participated in the AGO's ambitious crowdfunding campaign, and the David Yulee and Mary Elizabeth Hodgson Fund, Yayoi Kusama's Infinity Mirror Room, Let's Survive Forever is now part of the AGO collection. That's it. The artwork will be closed for regular maintenance every Wednesday and Friday about the artist. You cannot summarize her in one word. She's infinite. Related talks and events. There are no events found. Frequent asker, how much does it cost to? I remember that each visitor can only spend $23 3 seconds in the room, and there's a volunteer standing at the entrance of the each room to count how many seconds you're in, because this experience should be short or should be intense. I don't know what it feels like if you spend forever in that infinity room, or spend an hour in that infinity room. Some rooms are well lit, some rooms you have to you step onto a bridge. Under the bridge there's a pool of water. Water reflects all the lights suspended from the ceiling. So some rooms are dark, some rooms are well lit. Totally different experiences. Yeah, there's just always a long lineup at her shows. Just be prepared to be there early, or book your tickets online, or become a member of the gallery so you can skip the line. Oh, glad now is in the permanent collection of AGO. Okay, any other shows? Rembrandt. What's next? The Bubble Boy. The Impressionist Revolution, Monet to Matisse, from the Dallas Museum of Art. Well, if you guys are in Toronto this October, make sure to check out these shows. And Art Toronto, it's also taking place in October, I believe. Art Toronto 2026. Canada's Art Fair. Oh, the Vancouver Art Fair just wrapped up on last Sunday. The most significant art event in Canada. Art Toronto holds over 100 national, international galleries, installation, product spaces, and so much more. Well, then let's go check it out. We went 2 years ago, and most of the top galleries in Vancouver all participated in Art Toronto. It was very fun. It was also tons of other shows to see in Toronto during the fair, during that week. So this year it's, let's see the dates. October 29th to November 1st. I see Diego Marcon, the Bubble Boy. This looks interesting. Making his Canadian debut at the AGO, Diego Marcon's cinematic vision draws on Hollywood musicals, horror films, melodrama, and slapstick to present films both unsettling and tender, incorporating CGI, prosthetics, and robotics. Marcon achieves an uncanny quality in his films, images that feel artificial yet strangely alive. At the center of his installation is Marcon's newest work, Krapfen, 2025. Set in the bedroom, the film describes a child tormented by 4 characters: a pair of gloves, a foulard, a pair of trousers, and a pullover, who insists that the child should eat an apricot jam, Krapfen, or German donut. Part musical, part neurotic carousel. The objects hector the child as they swirl around in a choreographed dance, set to music composed by Federico Chiari. Sounds so interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a show like that for a long time in Vancouver. It's organized by Foundation, Fund Commission. Okay. About the artist. Born 1985 in Italy. Exhibited internationally. Ever in Vancouver? I see. No. I really just do hope that these shows travel to Vancouver at least, or at least Victoria. Well, let's see. Let's look at Rembrandt. Maybe 10 years ago there was a Dutch master exhibition at Vancouver Art Gallery, and was just wonderful. Painted Presents, Rembrandt and his peers. From the Bader collection at the Agnes Etherington Art Center, the AGO welcomes a remarkable selection of 17th century Dutch paintings, showing dialogue with paintings from the AGO's European collection of art. At the center of this focused installation are 7 artworks attributed to Rembrandt, shown together for the first time, featuring intensely observed still life paintings, detailed interiors, and mesmerizing portraits. These striking artworks offer a rare glimpse of Dutch artistry at work. This exhibition is co-curated by Adam Harris Levine, AGO Associate Curator European Art, Suzanne van de Merendonk, Bader Curator of European Art, Agnes Art Center. Where is this art center? Let's see. Oh, Queen's University. Oh, in Canada, I see. Kingston. Dated. Well, not much more information about this exhibition. Is on now until October 4th. Still lives. See. Rembrandt had busy workshops in Leiden and Amsterdam, where he would train students and assistants. The collaborative elements of the painter's method is the main focus of this exhibition. I see. Which displays 7 Rembrandt portraits and the tronies, never before hung together, alongside a selection of works by Rembrandt. Okay, if there are any pronunciation, any mistakes in my English, please speak up. Alongside a selection of works by Rembrandt's friends, including Jan Lievens, lesser-known contemporaries such as Abraham Sousanier and Jacob van Kampen, and 18th century acolytes, as well as paintings that emerged from Rembrandt's studio. The paintings mostly date from between 1614 and 1670, and highlights include Rembrandt's ruling head of a man in a turban. Liebens ghostly prophecy. So should be a remarkable exhibition. There are some related articles. How Rembrandt made great strides in his hometown. There's several articles, so you have to pay to read the full article. Can a modern perfumier hold a candle to the old masters? Still life roses. Producing recoil, Apollo's wandering eye on the art world, looking out for regular posts, taking a rakish perspective on art and museum stories. Sotheby's latest marketing ploy was perhaps a little on the nose, inspired by the abundant joys of Dutch Golden Age. Works from the Grasset collection, which were up for sale Wednesday. Well, not many images online for this exhibition. Portrait of a man with arms akimbo, 1658. Let's check out this show. Runs until 2027. So if you guys are in Toronto, you get to see it during the Toronto Art Fair. Asteroid. 3033 times 1. Making his museum debut, Canadian artist Rambir Sidhu bring his futuristic vision to the AGO with an exhibition of 3 monumental sculptures curated by Julian Cox, AGO Deputy Director and Chief Curator. Sidhu's strikingly contemporary large-scale works are technically audacious and culturally resonant monuments that meld the past, present, and future into a singular, striking vision. Blurring the line between form and ideas, industry and intuition, Sidhu seamlessly weaves Sikh history and iconography into contemporary visual language. His ambitious sculptural works are exquisitely engineered in a variety of methods. Look out for these Indian Canadian artists. They are just wonderful. In recent years, there are just so many good Indian Canadian artists being on the scene in Canada. We just saw one at the Polygon Gallery last week. Just wonderful. So creative and profound. The Tanya Willard show just wrapped up, and then now there's this. What's out now? Oh, no. Polygon Gallery. So this background image is one of the pieces of this artist exhibition on view at Polygon Gallery in North Vancouver. Installation and photography. So you guys need to check it out. And I believe Polygon Gallery, they usually have the entire show on their website, all the text, all the audio tours, and detailed images are all on their website. So these lights are also part of the exhibition. Yeah, I really wish AGO put more information on their shows on their website. Well, born in Maidenhead, England, raised in Scarborough, Ontario, Rambir Sidhu transforms stainless steel and marble into sculptural and installation works that challenge our perception, scale, and space. Sidhu's practice draws inspiration from the spiritual transcendence of post-war abstraction and the historical depth of his Sikh heritage. He embraces the creative possibility of advanced fabrication technologies to produce works that are as conceptually rich as they are visually and technically arresting. Okay, there's just so much bait. Just reading through this text, not able to see the actual sculpture or any images or full images of the sculptures is just too much. So let's see if we can find any images of the previous showing of this piece. Okay, this is his Instagram. I have to go in there, so I have to log in later. Check it out. Any other images? No. I believe he toured some of his pieces to Vancouver before. Vancouver, no. Looks like no. It looks like he's only in other places. Boundless creations. Exploring time through metal is central to Sidhu's practice. Much of his work is conceived through a futuristic lens, aiming to transport viewers across time and space. I call my works future relics. They're something that you may find many, many years from now. That's just so romantic. I see. So that's an installation shot of the full view of this piece. Just remarkable. Any details? All three works in the exhibition are primarily crafted in mirror finish stainless steel, Sidhu's metal of choice. The centerpiece of No Limits is Asteroid 3033 X1, a luminous vessel that imagines bringing Earth essence into the future. The work was in part inspired by modernist sculptor Konstantin Brancusi, of course. These works sought out essential and simplified abstract forms. By the way, Brancusi just break the record on at auctions. Konstantin Brancusi, the Guggenheim Museum. Yeah, I was interning at Guggenheim when the show was on. So I did a bit of research on this exhibition when I was interning there. I just remember it clearly. Of these pieces, the flying turtle, the miracle seal, bird in space. There was also a pregnant bird somewhere, and a pedestal is just one inherent part of his works. Okay, let's continue reading. In conceiving Asteroid, I often felt that Brancusi, his works are not depictions, but distillations that hold within them the idea of ascent, flight, and infinity. Sidhu shared that pursuit of essence deeply resonates with me. Asteroid is shaped by a similar desire to distill, to create an object that is at once abstract and elemental, rooted in material craft and yet reaching towards a cosmic. This one of the best has I've ever read in a while. So well written. Much like a real asteroid, Asteroid 3033 X1 is inscribed with a Wittgenstein pattern, a cross-hatched design that naturally occurs on iron meteorites. I see. Sidhu has also inscribed the work with his interpretation of what a Wittgenstein pattern might look like in a different galaxy, as well as hidden messages for viewers to discover. Asteroid 3033 X1's brand presence is beyond scale. Okay, let's just dive directly into this piece here. Just couldn't wait. So texture pattern usually found on a meteorite. Starting with 3D rendering, it takes the interdisciplinary effort of art, science, and engineering to make Sidhu's ideas actually. I wonder if this artist is an engineer at first place, and then he became artist, or he's just artist, fine artist. Is the product of 500 different metal facets, precisely engineered to fit together. Odyssey presented the engineering dilemma of balancing 5,000 pounds on 4 points, which was resolved with support provided by National Research Council. Oh my god. No Limits came together from years of sketching, experimenting, and building a team to push boundaries of scale and form. Sidhu recalled, exploring these concepts and extending the limits not only within my imagination, but also in the actual physical realm of what's possible, has brought my practice and the skills of my student to a whole new height. In imagining beyond the physical realm, Sidhu's work also draws from the spiritual. Consisting of spires, Odyssey explores how religious architecture uses scale and height to tether humanity to the divine. Oh my God. Beaming your soul into another realm, tether humanity to the divine. The placement of these spires maps out the sacred journey of Guru Nanak Sahib, 1469 to 1539. The work signifying but a spiritual cartography and a sculptural journey. Part of the exhibition, Sidhu selected cherished code from Guru Asi. There are myriads of planets, solar systems, and galaxies upon galaxies. If one speaks of it, there's no limit, no end. There are worlds upon worlds of creation. As the Creator commands, so they exist. The universe rejoices in its own existence, contemplating its infinity. O Nanak, to describe this is hard as steel. Just so wonderful, so profound. The quote speaks to how there's essentially no end to this universe, and the more you speak about it, of course, there's endless thoughts, endless discussions, and endless souls traveling through all these notions, all these concepts, or lives. Sidhu hopes that visitors will also adopt this perspective after experiencing the exhibition. Well, totally an extension or totally another realm, another dimension compared to the Yayoi Kusama's infinity rooms. These forms look like there's some deities on pedestals. Okay, any other images? In pursuit of form, in dialogue with metal. Commission exhibitions works just wonderful. Just wonderful. Mask as monument. Fiberglass, acrylic paint, 24-karat gold, stainless steel. Look at these steel. Look at these steel. Oh my God. Just wonderful. Flying. Brass, aluminum, acrylic paint. Well, it's on view until 2027. Should go check it out. Nice presentation. Odyssey. Oh, there are videos. Tether humanity into divine. Tether humanity into divine. Or divinity infused in humanity. Just wonderful. Haven't seen a show or read text like this for a long time. Technology. Oh, this is the piece. A lot of details. Details, textures, reflections. I'm glad this is realized. Glad it's manifested now. Asteroid fragment. In response to the open call to create new landmark gateway public art to be installed at future Scarborough Town Center, image as the glad his career is taking off and we get to see more of his works in public. Oh, I was wondering if he's an engineer, so let's find out. Sculptor, stainless steel. Looks like he's just full-time artist. His practice reflects the influence of post-war abstraction and his attention to light, stillness, and the interior life. Echoes of artists such as Anish Kapoor, James Turrell, Mark Rothko, Konstantin Brancusi, Barbara Hepworth, and be felt in the sensitivity of which he treats material. So Anish Kapoor is the artist who did the cloud and Chicago Grand Park. Anish Kapoor, Cloud Gate, that one in Chicago. He worked with steel as well. So destined for public art, large scale public art. Let's go to his website. Okay, just random click. Oh, he does painting as well. So not only sculpture but also paintings and drawings. Let's see this. I'm sure you remember seeing some, or you have seen some of his works in art galleries, museums, or biennales. Lady in between. Just visually impacting. Yeah, you don't ever get to forget his works, his public works. Just grandiose in scale and very sensational. His sculptures are not static objects. They shift and respond to the viewer, gathering and dispersing reflections and turning light into a central element of the work. The viewer enters a field where boundaries between the object, environment, and self soften and begin to move. No wonder why he's tethering humanity into the divine. Any other images? No. I hope No Limits shows people that there are no boundaries what they can create. I especially want the younger generation to see that their ideas, whether inspired by culture, science, or dreams, can take shape, become reality. Of course, everything depicted or told in science fictions are now turning into reality. And there's no escape. Okay, wonderful. Any other shows at AGO? Remade clay plaster stone. Not much information, just overview. Elizabeth Wynne Wood. highlight her interest in landscape and figuration, renowned for her simplified design, nature forms. I see. Is a sculptor as well. Sketches. Landscape figuration, renowned for her simplified designs, natural forms, and rich materials. The exhibition features 3 recent acquisitions, including sending and receiving. I see. New acquisitions. Plaster paint overall. So that's also a piece of sculpture. I see. Anything else? Reality, reverie, Canadian European painting beyond impressionism. I think I've seen this artist's work somewhere. Maybe in Vancouver, let's see. Mostly known for her large painted floral landscape of Métis beadwork. Ever on view in Vancouver exhibitions. Alaska. Saskatchewan, Ontario, I see. How large is, oh, I see. They are indeed large scale paintings. Paintings of beadwork. Paintings of beadwork. Paintings. Let's see, so orange, 1991. Oh, pretty large scale. Over 2 meters wide. 2 meters wide. Torn heart. Crazy. What is it? So I'm gonna call it a day. Maybe tomorrow we'll look at other shows in Toronto. Museum of Contemporary Mocha Toronto shows. Silk painting workshop with Alec Pan. Current exhibitions. Yeah, Kim Suja, that's also a renowned artist. She had a solo show in Vancouver Gallery a few years ago. Media installations, well-rounded skills and scales. Okay, so we can look at that tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow.